At the start of this video, Jasmy is 2041. And there's no update on Binance whether it's going to come out of the invasion zone, if it's going to get delisted. But regardless of what's happening with Binance, Jasmy looks like they're growing, they're building, they're actively selling their PCs. And for those who don't know, Jasmy's in a Web3 space, data security, data democracy, essentially creating decentralization for data storage. And if you guys want clear examples, look at all the apps you use, social media, your email. When you go on Amazon, when you buy something, they all ask for your email to store your credit card on servers, your information, your passwords. Everything is stored on a centralized server, and we see hacks happen all the time. So Jasmy is in this Web3 space, which is still not here yet, and it focuses on what Bitcoin does with financial sovereignty, being in control of your wealth, but now it takes it into another direction with your data, taking control of your data away from centralized servers and giving you control of it, putting it in what's called a personal data locker, where the only way you can access it or lend it out to a business is by holding a token and giving permission. That is where Jasmy's utility comes in. This is a very controversial crypto. Even my audience here, some people love it, some people hate it. By all means, you do what's best for you. Even my Discord members, they do not hold all the cryptos I hold. We're all independent investors. So don't feel like I'm going to get offended if you're in the comments saying, I don't hold Jasmy, it's a bad investment. I really don't care what the majority of people's opinions are. This is still a crypto that I'm bullish on. When I first started looking at Jasmy, they had less than 10% in circulating supply. It was a micro cap. And then they during the bear market, they started adding the circulation. So now they have almost 98%. They recently just added a little bit more. So they have a 50 billion coin cap. They now have 48.5 billion in circulation. So very few to add in circulation. So this is a full diluted market cap, which is under 200 million. If it didn't have this circulating supply, if it was back down to the 10%, it would be back to the micro cap status. And so this is very important, so I want to say this up front. Even with the circulating supply and upgrading this to a small cap, it is still a high risk, high reward play. Keep that in mind. Don't just put $100,000 into this because I'm bullish. You have to do your own research. If you don't believe in Jasmy, if you don't think this crypto is legit, some people call it a scam. Like I said, it is the most controversial crypto out there. Even some friends of mine don't like Jasmy. It's totally fine. You know what I mean? Like, investing is an individual thing. You're going to have some people that like what you cover, and you're going to have some people that hate what you cover. I actually love that part of crypto. There's so many cryptos out there, and so there's a lot of money to be made regardless. But if you're going to invest into 100 microcaps or a bunch of meme coins, Jasmy is definitely one crypto I think you guys should have on your watch list. Now, just do your research. Don't go heavy into it, obviously. Be cautious. If you have the conviction, that's one thing. But if you're on the fence, this is where you got to really look deeper into Jasmy. And the thing about Jasmy, it has one of the worst charts in crypto, right? It's pretty much down almost 100%. But like I said, they had very few in circulating supply when it first got launched, 2 years ago. So even though it went to a $5 all-time high, that was obviously a lot more possible because they only had 10% circulating supply. So the market cap to reach $5 at that time was a lot easier than if we were to do it now with almost 100% in circulation. It has the same supply as HBAR, only 5 billion more than Cardano. Japan had strict regulations, one of the strictest regulations out there in the world. While the US is going down in terms of we're trying to be less crypto friendly, Jasmy has vocally said they're trying to be more crypto friendly. And so they essentially took the chains off. And Jasmy's their first regulated compliant crypto in their entire country. Japan, and someone brought this up, Japan is not known for rug pulls and scams. Apparently someone looked it up and left a comment in my last Jasmy video saying that scammers or people of that category can face 20 years in prison, and Hara being a focal point on Twitter, it wouldn't be likely for him to just scam everybody and risk going to prison. Whether that's true or not, that is something to take note of. We're going to see this controversy until Japan gets more vocal about crypto, until we see Jasmy hopefully follow through in Q4 of this year with locking up a large part of their supply. We're going to see a lot of controversy, a lot of back and forth, right? And this is a clear example of, if you aren't going to be there for my worst, don't be there for my best, right? Because it's 2 zeros 4. And, this is pretty much the bottom. The bottom was in the bear market When Bitcoin hit 15.5K, Jasmy hit 2027. And then Jasmy at one point was getting close to a penny, but then Binance and CZ came out and started putting in the innovation zone. So it tanked the price. So Jasmy's been pretty stable now at this 204, 205 mark, and it really hasn't changed much. The only thing that could bring this price down even further is if Binance comes out and says, yeah, we're going to delist it altogether. But since they got put in the innovation zone, they've been very active on Twitter. They had AMAs, emergency meetings. They're making partnerships. They're growing their ecosystem, coming out with different products. There's a lot of things coming out for Jasmy behind the scenes that it's very hard to ignore this. And again, being in a suppressed environment, obviously the investors are not going to touch it. And then having so few tokens in circulation and now having the majority of in circulation, you're not going to see upwards price action. Like we've seen other cryptos like HBAR, they had less than 40% circulating supply. Now they got 64%, I believe, and the price just keeps sinking because as you add tokens in circulation, the supply goes down. From a supply and demand standpoint, if the market is stable and you're adding to the supply, it's going to bring the price down. It's going to dilute the price. So Jasmy had a very large extent of that dilution, plus the suppression in Japan obviously didn't help them as well. And now if Binance put them in the innovation zone, also didn't help them. So Jasmy, in my opinion, got beat up more than it should be. If they came out fully launched and they had most of it in circulating supply, you probably wouldn't see this big of a price dump. But regardless, I am still optimistic about it. Jasmy, to me, I think is a crypto that I think will eventually show its colors, whether it's good or bad. Like, I'm not saying I have a crystal ball and it's going to go to $17, which they said they predict by 2026. I just think this crypto is going to eventually prove itself. And I know it's a very controversial one, but I still believe in it. So for those who are wondering whether I still hold Jasmy or if I still believe in it, the answer is yes. I still hold it and I still believe in it. I think Web 3.0 will eventually come. I love its utility. It's very hard to not like Jasmy's utility in controlling your data. I understand that, especially when you see so many hackers just stealing people's information. Like when I was investing in stocks before crypto, I was on Robinhood and I got an email one day saying my account was compromised. They might have took my email and some other information. Hackers are so good these days. So, being in control of your data, having essentially a locker, a storage network, and no one can really hack it, take it, or steal it from you, to me, that's huge utility, and that's why I love Jasmy. Aside from them rumored to be former Sony executives, being in the Web3 space, being Japan's first crypto, which I love, these are just some of the reasons why I'm bullish on Jasmy. Being a utility-based investor, seeing a price like this, very far down, to me, it's worth an investment. Obviously, like I said, if you do decide to invest into it, not financial advice, do your research, and don't just dump your entire bank account into it. Assess your risk. Even though the market cap is now pretty much a micro small cap, treat it like a micro cap. And micro caps are similar to meme coins in the sense that they're lottery plays. They can 100x, they can also go straight to zero. So you got to take this risk to reward in mind. It is not just a all reward going to the moon. There is insane risk with micro caps. Okay, so just keep that in mind. Now I want to hear from you. Are you still holding your Jasmy? And if so, where do you see its price by the end of the bull cycle? Let me know down below in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like. Really helps so much. That being said, I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you in the next video.